Hey team, welcome back to the Wilson Combat YouTube channel. My name's Massad Ayoob, and before I say any more, I'm going to urge you to subscribe and press the notification bell. That'll let you be among the first to know when the next video drops and be the first on your block to see it. I've been asked to talk today about the AR-15 as a home defense weapon. I'm happy to do that because I can see a lot of good reasons why this gun has become so popular as a home defense long gun. If you look over history, since the time of the Pilgrims, the smoothbore, the shotgun, has been the traditional American home defense weapon. One reason that it's, well, actually among the many reasons it's been supplanted, these guns are light and handy when they're properly set up. This one is the Wilson Protector Elite, weighs 6 pounds 9 ounces. Very handy, very well balanced, and suitable for any member of the family. If you've ever had your petite grandmother or your youngest, smallest daughter fire your 12-gauge home defense shotgun, you found out why that gun is not suitable for smaller, more fragile bodies. And remember, in home defense, we're not talking about the alpha male's personal sidearm. In home defense, the home defense gun is a pool weapon. It's not just assigned to one individual. It's going to be handled by any member of the family who's been deemed authorized to use it in the particular type of emergency it was designed to protect your family from. We have, instead of 5 to 8 or maybe at the most 10 shotgun shells, we have about 30 rounds of a cartridge that has established itself to be a pretty significant fight ender in the anti-personnel role. Now, one thing that kept the rifle from being widely accepted for that for generations was the fear of the deep bullet over-penetrating, going through walls, striking other family members in other rooms, or even exiting the building and striking another house. In the latter 20th century, it was proven by authorities from Detroit Police Department to the FBI that with proper anti-personnel loads, typically a jacketed soft point or a jacketed hollow point, the .223 would have no greater penetration through barriers than, let's say, a service pistol bullet. What you have here is very light, controllable recoil, and that not only makes it easier for an outnumbered householder to get lots of rounds on target fast, but it also promotes skill-building practice. Sure, it's fun to shoot trap and skeet with trap and skeet loads with the home defense shotgun, but that's not the recoil that you're going to be fighting when you need it for real. The recoil of this gun, even with full power loads, I don't think I'm exaggerating much when I say it's kind of a loud 22. One advantage of these light carbines is you have multiple stance and grasp options to better adapt to the given situation or the given shooter and their strength and stature. You can use C-clamp, which is very effective for multiple targets, tracking accurately and precisely. Traditional, the way most of us grew up learning how to hold a rifle. This deft lock here on the magazine well. Some folks think it's stirrupy. Properly done, it's very effective. You push your non-dominant hand to the strong hand side, the dominant hand to the weak hand side, and it helps lock it in, an old JSG-9 submachine gun technique. The main advantage of it, if you have to cover an area for a very long time and the arm fatigues, you can drop here to a low ready. Skeletal support is holding the weapon for however long it takes for deputies and troopers to arrive. Finally, pull your elbow down, pull the gun in tight, and if your forward arm is blown away, you can still lean into the gun and effectively fire from here. In addition to the lightweight and the good balance, let's look at the telescoping stock, the evil assault weapon feature that's forbidden in New York and California. The telescoping stock, in an instant, allows the gun to adapt to from the tallest, longest armed individual in the household who's authorized to use it to the shortest. You have the very controllable trigger, the very manipulable safety here. We have the aim point, which gives you precision shooting. Of course, in the home defense context, you have to know your hold off, and if you needed a, God help us, a rescue shot, understand how high you'd have to hold to make the perfect shot without endangering unduly the victim you're trying to rescue. Don't forget, with the sights, before we move forward, definitely have backup irons. Anything made by man can fail, including our parents' children, and definitely including anything that runs on batteries. Normally, I would not be suggesting anybody do searches with a weapon-mounted light, because anything that you're looking at, you're pointing a loaded, deadly weapon at. And if you wind up pointing that inadvertently at someone who has a right to be there, you have literally committed felony aggravated assault, conviction for which is not only several years in prison in most jurisdictions, but a permanent loss of your right to own firearms. Why do I like it on the home defense rifle, though? Let's look at the defense gun's role in both long gun and handgun. In home defense, I see the handgun as the infantry. If I have to move within the household, I've got to scoop a grandbaby and carry it to safety, something like that, I can't do that and manage a two-handed weapon effectively. I most certainly can do that with a one-handed weapon. Working communications, working a search flashlight, opening doors, touching a wall for balance so I can do quick peeks, all those favor the handgun. If I have to answer a door, and answering the unexpected knock at 3 in the morning tactically is another topic entirely for another day. If I open that door and find a policeman there and I'm holding a long gun, there's a real good chance I'm going to be shot. He is going to reasonably perceive me as a deadly threat. With a handgun holstered behind my hip, "Good evening, officer. Is there a problem?" And that issue doesn't occur. If the handgun is infantry in the home defense context, I see the long gun as the artillery. And I'm not speaking just about its greater power and its greater range, but the fact that we're going to employ it from a fixed, static location into a quadrant of fire that we've already plotted out. If we've planned for home defense right, and the alarm has gone off, the pounding on the door has alerted us, whatever, we gather the family into the safe room, and we know at this point, everybody on this side of the door is the good guys. Whoever is kicking that door down are the bad guys. And if they present a threat to me and my grandbabies, I want something I can blow lots of great big holes with really fast. And the carbine like this, or the shotgun, serves that purpose. Another point that a lot of people miss, when someone asks me, why would you justify having an AR-15 as a home defense weapon, I might well answer with complete honesty, look, if this thing is so intimidating that the media and an entire political party and 2 sitting presidents have wanted to ban it, I thought it might be intimidating enough that any violent intruder who entered my home upon seeing it would run away and not force me to end his life with it. The carbine, though, as I said, is much more easily handled by the less physically strong members of the household. As far as ammunition, as I said, the .223 with proper loads, typically 55 grain jacketed hollow point or soft point, has served very well in the anti-personnel context, particularly in the urban combat of crime prevention, if you will. If you're still worried about penetration, there is the possibility of using one of the lighter varmint loads. You can get a 40 grain jacketed hollow point in .223 that's going to run as much as 3,800 feet per second out of the muzzle. Now that's coming pretty close, within 300 foot seconds, to a .22-250 varmint rifle. That kind of ballistics, any varmint hunter can tell you, can take a groundhog this big and make it appear to explode when it's hit. Now, the downside of those light 40 grain bullets is less penetration. You're probably not going to achieve the 12 to 18 inches of penetration that the FBI has determined to be ideal for law enforcement use. Nor is that super light, super fast bullet going to work terribly well, let's say, shooting through car doors, but that's not going to be a part of the home defense function. If we have an opponent who is facing us, and let's say we took that woodchuck, put that woodchuck inside the human attacker's thoracic cavity and caused the woodchuck to explode, we would probably have solved our anti-personnel needs for the moment. and giving your family the peace of mind that those bullets aren't going to be going room after room after room if a shot misses. In fact, we found that 55 grain soft nose and jacketed hollow points will generally stay inside the body of the adult human offender. Another thing that a lot of people don't look at, particularly here on the Wilson Combat channel, we got a whole lot of gun guys, people like us. You're accustomed to having loaded guns. You keep your guns loaded in a secured area. You may even home carry with a loaded gun on your person. We've got to remember a whole lot of the people that you and we advise, people in our circle who are newer to the gun than we are, may be a little more nervous than we are about having loaded guns. It's not at all uncommon, particularly now with the new millions of people we've had in the last couple of years that have been purchasing guns since the pandemic and all of that, for the guns in the house to be a very divided issue. Commonly, one spouse wanted the gun there, one adamantly opposed it, and the compromise that they came to was, okay, you can have the gun, but it can't be loaded in the house with the kids. Well, I don't care to be the one trying to fumble single shotgun shells one at a time into the tube of a shotgun when the bad guys are kicking down the door. When you can have a device where you can simply insert the magazine, close the chamber, and go, it's a whole lot faster and a whole lot less fumble prone. And it would allow, in that particular type of home situation, a much faster and more effective deployment of the life-saving emergency rescue equipment that is the properly set up AR-15. People ask, do you need 30 shots to defend the family? You just might. We're seeing over the years a trend toward multiple offenders performing home invasions. They may know how to take cover. They may be moving fast in less than optimum light. And the more rounds you have, the better. The bad guy coming in, the mass murderer, they can equip themselves with as many 10-round magazines or as many guns as they want. And history shows that they will. Criminals, by definition, are lawbreakers. If, however, you as the home defender barely have time to get this gun out and get it loaded, you're sure not going to have time to get a bandolier of spare magazines. That means the higher capacity of the AR-15 type rifle benefits the innocent victim, the homeowner, the reactor as opposed to the criminal actor, disproportionately more. And I don't think that benefit should be sacrificed in the name of political correctness with 10-round magazine limits or outright bans on defensive rifles like this. A Google search for successful home defense with the AR-15 rifle is going to turn up many, many actual cases for you. The reason being, for many years now, this has been the most popular rifle in what the rest of the world calls a nation of riflemen. There are enough of them out there, the collective experience is built. And the collective experience proves this gun has a definite place in the home defense battery. Thanks for listening. I hope you'll stay tuned to the Wilson Combat channel. There's a lot of experts on here dropping a lot of knowledge bombs, and I think you'll get as much out of watching it as I do. Good luck, stay safe, don't forget to subscribe.